Hey, RetconRaider here. Today's episode is once again dedicated to our resident witch hunter, Rowan Church. Thanks for your continued support, Rowan. As usual, I'll try not to get you killed. Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to episode 63. Today, we're finally meeting with Sir Wolfhart, so let's get to it. The war camp is full of clinking and clanking. Blacksmiths work to repair equipment, cooks stew what horrid messes they suggest as food, and soldiers hammer in posts for their tents. You meet with Sir Wolfhart in his tent. Stolen away from all that metal noise, it is instead replaced by the arguments of his lieutenants. He shakes his head. You see a studious man in the corner of the tent. He's running a dried quill pen down a scroll, shaking his head all the while. Suddenly, he rises to his feet and hands the page to Sir Wolfhart. The commander nods a few times, then looks at you. This might seem beneath some mercenaries, but I need the Retcon Raiders to visit the farms northeast of here and requisition the foods that they have. It will not be the first time that our army has made requests of these farmers. The last time we went, they tried to resist, but, well, lessons were learned. My scribe will write down everything we need. Think of it as a day shopping at the markets. The commander grins wryly. Alright, we've got our first task ahead of us. We have to go requisition supplies from a farm that just happens to belong to another noble house. Let's get to it. The farmhouses are in the distance. Fields of crops seesaw to a crisp wind, rustling like calm ocean waves. Farmhands chop through the fields with scythes, a crew of followers heaving the remains with pitchforks. Donkeys bring up the rear, drawing carts through the roughshod terrain. Closing in on the farmhouses, the food-filled carts begin to trundle backwards. As they shuffle away, they slowly reveal a troop of well-armed men. The farmers quickly clear out. Vlad Kapesh draws his weapon. This is an ambush! Alright, looks like we're up against peasants and mercenaries, but this is probably an ambush scenario. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Because of the nature of the scenario, we've started completely out of formation, and we're completely surrounded by a ridiculous number of enemies. Fortunately, it does look like at least a third of the enemies are unarmed peasants, so the situation isn't quite as dire as it looked at first glance. I think what we need to do here is set up a loose perimeter. We just need to buy our archers some time to thin out the enemy numbers. Then we'll have a lot more room to maneuver. Whoops, okay. That's, Wajtek. Wajtek just took an arrow through the neck. That is not a good start for us. Now we've got enemies approaching from every side, so let's at least try to keep our eye out for the biggest potential threats. There's definitely more of them on the south than on the north. It actually looks like the entire northeast side is just peasants and a couple of archers. Alright, let's focus on taking out those archers first. Wajtek gets some payback, putting an arrow through an archer's neck, then killing him with his follow-up shot. He quickly scans the battlefield for another target, and lands a glancing hit on a heavily armored mercenary. Alessandro is up. Unfortunately, his shots go wide. The peasants boldly charge into battle. That's not going to end well for them. There's actually a pretty decent number of peasants. I think there might actually be about 10 peasants. We're definitely still in a very dangerous position, but it's nowhere near as bad as I originally thought. Potatoes up. We'll ignore the peasants for now and stay focused on the enemy mercenaries. Potato puts an arrow in a mercenary's side. Mark is up. Let's see what else we can do here. There's no shortage of targets, but not a lot that we actually want to waste arrows on. Mark moves into a more defensive position, then puts an arrow through a peasant's shoulder. Rowan is up. He puts a crossbow bolt right through a mercenary's face. Woe cuts down a foolishly brave peasant. Eraton moves up, then hurls an axe into another peasant's leg. Kazarin moves up, cutting down another peasant, then steps over his corpse to block a mercenary's advance. He readies his dagger, and puts it through the mercenary's shoulder. Nicely done. Reinhardt moves up, blocking 2 more enemies. He readies his dagger as well, and puts it through a mercenary's arm. Rondis takes stock of the battlefield, then moves to the east, providing more cover for the archers. Janos is up. He begins heading south to block off more mercenaries. And Belfontaine is up. He falls back a bit, regrouping with Eraton. Round 2. The enemy archers open fire, and Wojtek gets hit again, taking an arrow through the thigh. Reinhardt gets hit with a net. Potato's been engaged. Reinhardt takes a light armor hit. A peasant rushes Rondis. Woe just got netted, and Reinhardt got hit again. More peasants are rushing up to engage our mercenaries. Oh, Janos got netted. I didn't even see that happen. Potato's definitely not in a good spot there. We'll need to pull him back. And Janos' morale is wavering. Alright, our archers are up. Let's do some damage. Mark can't fire because he's being threatened by peasants. He'll pass for the moment, until Rondis can take care of the problem. Potato is up. He uses fancy footwork to get himself out of a tight spot. Oh, but he's still adjacent to another peasant, so he readies his long axe. And immediately decapitates the farmer. Then he ducks back behind some bushes. We've got a mercenary coming in from the north, beelining for our archers. Wojtek is in bad shape, but he doesn't really have anywhere to retreat. He puts an arrow into an advancing mercenary, killing him in one shot, then puts a second arrow through a mercenary archer's leg. Not bad. Rowan is up. He carefully scans the battlefield, taking stock of his potential targets. And his shot goes right into an enemy's shield. Eraton is up. He switches off to his dagger, then moves to provide Rowan with cover. He's got a wounded mercenary on him, so he'll have to disengage first. There we go. We've only got one enemy on the northwest here, so it does feel a little silly to have 2 brothers up there. But if we can take that guy out, we'll have a safe direction to retreat in. Belfontaine readies his dagger. Doling out a light flesh wound. Reinhardt struggles with the net. He fails to get free, but succeeds at stabbing his opponent in the chest. Kazarin is up. He stabs his opponent in the chest as well. He needs to clear away some of these peasants, so he readies his greatsword. He kills the peasant on mark and cleaves open a mercenary's leg. Then he finishes off the mercenary with a second swing. Janos readies his great hammer, killing a mercenary and a peasant with a single swing. Mark, no longer threatened, takes a moment to bandage Wojtek's neck injury. Moving into round 3. We've got more peasants and mercenaries incoming. Potato's being threatened again. Janos takes a light armor hit, and a peasant punches him. Belfontaine takes a moderate hit, Woe takes a moderate hit. Reinhardt takes a light armor hit. Our archers are up. Alessandro puts an arrow through a mercenary's shoulder, breaking his morale. Mark fires on the same mercenary, accidentally killing the peasant behind him, and then putting another arrow through the mercenary's side. Rondis takes a moderate armor hit. Rowan moves to back up Janos, and promptly shoots another mercenary in the face. Potato is up. He cuts down the wounded mercenary in front of him, then readies his bow, hitting another mercenary with a glancing shot. Eraton stabs a mercenary in the leg, then stabs him in the chest as well, and Bellefontaine finishes him off. Woe cuts down one of the peasants. Kazarin stabs another peasant in the leg, then finishes him off with a second blow. Rondis decapitates a peasant, then readies his dagger and moves up to kill another one. Reinhardt is still facing off against 3 enemies. He struggles with the net, but failing to break free, he stabs one of the mercenaries in the arm. Janos crushes a peasant on the south side. Moving into round 4. One of the mercenaries turns and flees. Ooh, and Woe just got clubbed in the ankle. Alessandro moves up, putting an arrow in a mercenary and breaking his morale. The last enemy archer is running. Mark pursues the enemy bowman, but can't quite get in range. Rowan reloads and hangs back. Oof, Reinhardt takes 2 nasty hits. Potato cuts down a wounded mercenary. And he's too exhausted to fire another shot. Wojtek moves up, breaking another mercenary's morale. Eraton starts pursuing the fleeing bowman and unleashes his dog. Kazarin heads south. He's struggling with exhaustion, but still finishes off a badly wounded mercenary. Bellefontaine finally frees himself from a net. Woe is still tangled up in a net, and now he's too exhausted to even try getting free. Reinhardt is still trapped. Janos finally tears his way free. Moving into round 5. The dog moves up, pinning down the enemy bowman. Another mercenary flees the battlefield. Alessandro moves up, firing through the ranks, but he can't land the hit. Reinhardt takes another light armor hit. Rowan heads south, making a token effort to pursue one of the fleeing mercenaries. But he can't get even close. Potato puts 2 arrows into the last defiant mercenary. Most of our brothers start maneuvering, trying to run down their fleeing foes. Eraton moves up, ready to join his dog in battle. Kazarin lands a quick dagger strike against the last active foe. Rondis, nearing exhaustion, lands a light hit, breaking his opponent's morale. Janos continues heading south. Woe finally finishes off the last mercenary on our line. And at this point the fight's pretty much over. The mercenary on the south is almost certainly going to get away, but we should be able to finish off this archer on the north. The enemy archer lands a light hit on our dog, and Mark promptly executes him for it. That was definitely a pretty tough battle. Wojtek has a pierced leg, Woe's got that sprained ankle. They're both going to be sidelined for a while. The gear's nothing to write home about, but we'll take everything we can carry. At the very least, it'll cover the costs of healing and supplies. There's blood in some of the food, but a little water will rub that right out. Sir Wolfhart's men will appreciate your work here. Alright, let's head back to camp and get our next assignment. And we're back. We stopped by Firthwalk to do a little trading, and now it's time to meet up with Sir Wolfhart again. You return to the war camp and order your men to get some rest. Who knows what awaits you tomorrow? Oh, I guess we just have to wait. Alright, I guess we'll be back once Sir Wolfhart has something for us to do. Morning, the inevitable hour where 1,000 regrets arrive on the glowy limelight of a new day. A young boy stands outside your tent with a scroll. He unfurls and struggles to read it. So yeah, I can't actually read, but I think the commander wishes to see you. Time to pay a visit to the commander. You enter Sir Wolfhart's tent just in time to watch a candle go flying by your face. Its wick sizzles into the mud as you watch a table follow after it, flipping over and over with all its maps going flying. A red-faced Sir Wolfhart stands at the foot of the carnage, his hands on his hips, breathing heavy as he recollects himself. He explains himself. Deserters! They've deserted! On the eve of the most important battle of my life, I can't even keep my goddamn men around. Look, I cannot have this army coming apart at the seams. I need you to go and find those deserters and bring them back to me. If they refuse to return, well, kill them all. One of the sentries said he saw them going east of here. Now hurry up! Now, this is an event that could result in a fight, but it's not guaranteed, so we'll just have to see how lucky we are here. There are the deserters. I guess we'll just have to see how this goes. You come upon the deserters sitting around a smoldering campfire, one of them desperately kicking dust over the coals. He stops when he sees you. The rest of the deserters follow his gaze before springing to their feet. We ain't going back. You can tell Sir Wolfhart to go to hell. Is this who you want to be? Cowards that won't defend their own lands? As the deserters turn to leave, Rowan Church steps forward and clears his throat. So that's how it's gonna be, huh? You're going to wiggle out of your responsibilities like a bunch of limp dicks? I know how you're feeling. I know you see no point in this war or risking your life for some stuck-up nobleman who has no idea what you go through. That's fair, but you're gonna wake up years from now, bouncing your grandson on your knee, and he's going to ask you questions about when you fought in the war. And you are going to have to lie to that little boy. After a short time debating on what to do, the deserters put it to a vote. It isn't unanimous, but they come to an agreement. They'll go back with you to Sir Wolfhart. Well done, Rowan. He's, got quite the... well, maybe silver tongue isn't quite the right term for it. You get the idea. Sir Wolfhart informs you that tomorrow is the big day. You return to your tent for a good and earned rest. Rest well this night, for tomorrow battle awaits. Alright. We've got to wait at least 12 hours before the final battle will begin, so I think in the meantime we'll try our luck with that stronghold over there. We don't know exactly what we're up against, but given the location, it's either bandits or undead. Looks like it's bandits. And they've got a bandit leader, Sigurd the Scourge. Given some of the fights we've been up against lately, this should be a cakewalk. Belfontaine takes a light hit. Fox is up. He takes aim at the enemy archers and puts an arrow through a man's leg. Bunny fires on the same archer, but misses. The bandits continue their steady advance on our line. Potato is up and he's got an open shot at the enemy marksman. Ooh. He misses his target, but still puts his arrow through a bandit's arm. Mark is up. He carefully considers his options, then cuts down the wounded crossbowman. Rowan readies his crossbow, then viciously gut wounds one of the approaching bandits. Woe moves up, slicing a bandit's artery with his billhook. Eraton moves up to meet the advancing bandits. He readies his dagger, but misses. Kazarin moves up as well. He readies his dagger and lunges for a bandit pikeman, putting his dagger through the man's hand and chest. Reinhard moves up to meet the bandits on the north. He cuts down the gut-shot bandit, then puts his dagger through another bandit's chest. Rondus moves up, readying his greatsword. He misses his intended target, but hits the man behind him, causing a massive bloody wound. Belfontaine moves up, quickly switching off to his dagger, and landing a light hit on the enemy pikeman. Round 2. The bandits begin maneuvering and, well, I can't say that was the most efficient use of their actions, but I'm certainly not going to complain. We've got a bandit circling around towards our archers. Fox shoots an enemy marksman in the side, then kills him with a second shot, then plants a third arrow in the flanking bandit. Bunny shoots the last remaining marksman in the leg. Sigurd moves in, engaging Eraton in combat. Potato puts another arrow into the flanking bandit. Mark follows his example, killing the flanking bandit with 2 more quick shots. Rowan readies his crossbow again, but he doesn't have any open shots this time. He hops up onto higher ground for a better shot, but his bolt goes wide. Wojtek lashes out with his billhook, missing his target. Belfontaine squares off against 2 bandits. He puts his dagger through one of the bandits' arms, dodges a counterattack, then kills the bandit with a follow-up strike. Eraton briefly ignores Sigurd, instead stabbing one of his men through the arm. Kazarin pierces a bandit's hand with his dagger, then stabs him in the side as well, and kills him with a third thrust of his dagger. Rondus moves up, impaling 2 bandits on his greatsword. Janos crushes another bandit on the north, then switches off to his dagger. Reinhard impales a bandit through the chest, then kills him with a second stab. Then he impales another bandit through the arm. One of the bandits tries to flee and gets savaged in the process. Moving into round 3. This is almost over. Our archers are up. Bunny leaps onto an elevated position, then lands a glancing hit on one of the bandits. Janos takes a light hit. Potato moves up, firing past Belfontaine, but he misses his target. Fox moves up as well, putting an arrow through a bandit's chest. And Rondis just got stunned. Woe moves up, cutting down the second-to-last bandit on the south. Rowan reloads, putting a bolt through a bandit's shoulder and knocking him out of cover. Mark quickly takes advantage of the opening, killing the wounded bandit with a well-placed arrow. He quickly moves up, killing another bandit as well. Nicely done. Belfontaine is too exhausted to continue fighting. Kazarin moves up, stabbing a bandit in the knee. Reinhard moves in, steadily surrounding Sigurd the Scourge. Eraton holds off for the moment, waiting for more brothers to arrive. Janos readies his shield and holds off as well. Moving into round 4. Bunny moves up. Potato cuts down the last of the bandits. That frees up the rest of our frontliners so we can focus on taking down that bandit leader. Belfontaine moves in, but Sigurd blocks his attack. Janos lashes out, putting his dagger through Sigurd's hand and breaking his morale. Rondis starts closing in, dagger and shield at the ready. Kazarin moves up, but he's too exhausted to make an attack. Reinhard takes a moment to catch his breath. The archers hold back. Woe begins circling wide. Eraton takes a couple of shots, plunging his dagger into Sigurd's chest. Mark moves up as well, but just to cut off Sigurd's escape. Round 5. Our archers are still on standby. Reinhard is up. He pushes Sigurd to the brink of death, then finishes him off with a final strike. Woe hits level 11, congratulations. And Belfontaine is up to level 8. Looks like MVP goes to Mark with 4 kills. Nice work. The loot is mostly vendor trash, but there's a few nice pieces in there. We should get about 300 gold for that signet ring. And it looks like we got Sigurd's warhammer, as well as his armor. That helmet will probably go to Belfontaine. I just need to make sure his stamina is high enough. Okay, we'll take a moment to sort through the loot, head back to Firthwalk to do some trading, and we'll pick up here next time as we join Sir Wolfhart on the battlefield against the armies of House Eisenstein. Hey, RetconRaider here. Well, we're almost done with our second military contract, and by now you should be getting a good idea of what it is that makes these contracts so dangerous. These special noble contracts generally involve a series of 2 or 3 increasingly difficult battles in a row, giving the player very little time to recover and resupply between each fight. Fortunately, despite a few injuries, we seem to be doing pretty well so far. We managed to take down a mercenary ambush, and thanks to Rowan, we actually talked our way out of the second fight. All we have to do now is go up against an army of roughly 30 of House Eisenstein's finest. The upcoming fight is likely to be one of the largest battles we've ever been in, Not only because we'll be up against a massive group of enemies, but also because we'll be joined in battle by a small group of House Rabenholt soldiers, led by Sir Wolfhart himself. My current plan is to let our allies do the bulk of the early fighting, while we focus on taking down wounded or isolated targets. Hopefully, that should let us get through the battle with minimal casualties. But who knows? This is Battle Brothers, and a single lucky hit from a billhook or heavy crossbow can kill even the sturdiest man. There's no guarantee that we're all going to make it through the next battle alive. Pray to whatever gods you worship, Raiders, because tomorrow we're going to really have to earn our pay. This is RetconRaider, signing off. Thanks for watching. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Battle Brothers, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website or the FanRun Wiki. Links are in the description.